still admitting so many people. Sapir, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Maya. Thanks everyone for joining us to celebrate Mizrahi Shavuot together with Rabbi Tsipi and Maya and me. My name is Sapir and I work at JIMENA. For those of you who don't know JIMENA, we're a San Francisco-based nonprofit, and our mission is to raise awareness and share the history and heritage of Jews from the Middle East and North Africa, also known as Mizrahim or Sephardim. And that's it, and I think we can start.
Great. So I'll tell you a little bit also about OneTable, and as I do that, if everybody feels comfortable, we would love if you would share in the chat where you're from, where you're visiting, where you're calling us in from, where you're located basically in all this quarantine madness, and your name or whatever you feel comfortable, just so we can know who's with us today. Amazing. So just a little bit about OneTable. OneTable is an organization that supports 21 to 39-year-olds to create their own Shabbat practice. We have wonderful resources with nourishment and different types of guides, Shabbat guides, to help young professionals be more mindful in their Shabbat practice, and to encourage them to create something that feels their own and feels like it belongs to them. So we're really happy that you're able to join us today for this special Shavuot and Shabbat pre-celebration, and we hope that this is a great way for you to be bringing in your Shabbat. And maybe I'll also give a little introduction to wonderful Rabbi Tsipi Gabai and Katja Cooper, we're so happy that they're here to join us and to give us a musical experience. So Rabbi Tsipi Gabai is a world-renowned rabbi. She's the first female Moroccan rabbi, possibly in the world. She comes from 9 generations or more of rabbis, and has many siblings and a large family that is really involved in Jewish practice. And it's really beautiful to hear her stories of growing up in a Jewish home and really learning to incorporate these values and learnings into her life and bring them to us as well. So we're really happy to have her here. Katya Cooper is a world-renowned drummer percussionist, incredible. I've had the pleasure to see her live, and she's really wonderful, and we're so happy that they both get to join us today and to teach us new things about what it is that we're doing in a Mizrahi, Sephardic, Shavuot, Shabbat experience. So thank you for coming.
Delighted. Yeah. Toda rabba. Shalom Aleichem, peace be with you, my friends. I am so excited to be celebrating with you Shavuot and Shabbat. And toda rabba Sapir, toda rabba Maya for inviting me, and bruchim habayim, welcome to all the people that are participating with us this afternoon. And I'm of course delighted to be sitting here next to Katja Cooper, who is going to keep us on key and keep the rhythm flowing. So before we talk about Shavuot and about this incredible festival, incredible Shabbat, you know, it is important to begin with unlocking the gates of heaven and the gates of our heart by singing in a community. Our sages, the Kabbalists, tell us that each of us is expression of God's presence in the world. And each of us has our own tone, our own sound, and that is the reflection of our neshama, our unique soul. Because it's Shavuot, I'd like to share with you a midrash that my father shared with me about singing. My father said that even nature sang, even nature gave songs to the Almighty. The mammals, the reptiles, the birds, and even the trees and the plants have a special song to the Almighty. And in the Talmud, the rabbis ask, how does the wheat give thanks and sings to God? And they answer, the wheat sings when it's not completely ripe, when it's still growing and maturing, when it's not ready to be cultivated. And from this we learn that even before we are born, when we are still in the womb, we have to give praise and songs to the Almighty. And we need to acknowledge the divine presence, the influence of the divine presence on our life. And you know, when we sing the songs of our people, we go beyond ourselves as individuals and we find unity with all humanity. So my dear friends, let us open our hearts, let us unlock the gates of heaven. Let us do Tikkun Olam by singing in unison with the true sound of being. So let's sing with Mipiel.
Before we start, before we start, I just want to say something that we forgot to say. That the session is recorded and you can shut down the camera if you want, but we would really love to see all of your faces to make it more personal. We're going to sing together. We're going to do some Piyyutim, talk about Shavuot. So if you like to turn the camera, we'd love to see your faces. And that's it. So Tsipi, back to you.
Yeah. Mipiel is a piyut that was written actually for Shavuot. I know that many people sing it during Simchat Torah, but it was originally for Shavuot. It was written in the Eretz Israel, and then it was spread to all over the communities all over the world, and they sing it for Shavuot and for Simchat Torah. So Mipiel, you have the papers, or just join with the chorus. Mipiel, Mipiel, יבורך כל ישראל. Mipiel, Mipiel, יבורך כל ישראל. אין אדיר כאדוני, אין ברוך כפני המרב, אין גדולה כתורה. ואין דורש כישראל. איווה, מיפיאל, מיפיאל, יבורך כל ישראל. מיפיאל, מיפיאל, יבורך כל ישראל. אין הדור כאדוני, אין ותיק כבני המרב, אין זכייה כתורה, אין חכמיה כישראל. מיפיאל, מיפיאל, יבורך כל ישראל. מיפיאל, מיפיאל, יבורך כל ישראל. אין טהור כאדוני, אין ישר כבני המרב, אין כבודה כתורה, אין לומדיה כישראל. מיפיאל, מיפיאל, יבורך כל ישראל. מיפיאל, מיפיאל, יבורך כל ישראל. אין מלך כאדוני, אין נביא כבני המרב, אין סגולה כתורה, אין עוסקיה כישראל. מיפיאל, מיפיאל, יבורך כל ישראל. איווה, מיפיאל, מיפיאל, יבורך כל ישראל. אין פודק אדוני, אין צדיק כבני המרב, אין קדושה כתורה, אין מרוממיה כישראל. מיפיאל, מיפיאל, יבורך כל ישראל. מיפיאל, מיפיאל, יבורך כל ישראל. תורה. זה היום עשה אדוני נגילה ונשמחה בו. This is the day that the Almighty has made. Let us be happy and rejoice within it. It is so wonderful to have all of you. I'm sorry I can't see you all, but I feel you in my heart, especially singing together as a community. The singing is the most primal and powerful form of one. My dear friends, the Torah. תורת אמת נתן לנו ברוך אשר בחר בנו. The Torah that was given to us 3,400 years ago. The Torah was given to the entire world. We are told that with every letter and every word that was uttered, the world was filled with fragrance, light, and beauty. Our sages linked the Torah to wine, gladdens the heart, and to water, as water purifies and gives us life, the Torah gives us life. As water purifies and cleanses our body, the Torah purifies our souls and cleanses our spirit. The Torah is our way of life. Without the Torah, Judaism cannot continue from generation to generation. The Torah is the foundation of our faith and the heart, it is the heart of our tradition. The Torah is our way of life. It is a book with no end, supporting the expectation of our understanding of what it means to be the vessel for the spirit of the creation. There are many beautiful traditions and stories about our Torah, and that's what we celebrate today. We celebrate Shavuot, the receiving of the Torah. The Torah was given to the entire world. So before we continue talking more about the Torah, I would like to sing with you a piyyut that is called Torat Emet Natan Lanu Baruch Asher Bahar Banu. It was written for Shavuot, and it was written in Morocco by Rabbi Yosef, and they sing it also when they chant Parashat Vayeshev, Torat Emet. And Katja here will play the darbuka and the
from Turkey and the
djembe. Okay. Torat emet natan lanu, Torat emet natan lanu, Torat emet natan lanu, Baruch Hashem bahar banu, יקרה היא מפנינים, נטעיה נעמנים, ירדם משמעונים, זאת מצאנו גם ישנו, תורת אמת נתן לנו, תורת אמת נתן לנו, תורת אמת נתן לנו, ברוך השם בחר בנו. ומה נמות אמריה, סודותיה ותריה, אין מביטה עלומיה, לראות אשר יצרנו, תורת אמת נתן לנו, תורת אמת נתן לנו, תורת אמת נתן לנו, ברוך השם able to at least sing la 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 or clap their hands or stamp their feet. Shavuot, the holiday that actually the only holiday from the Torah that is not giving us the exact month or the exact date. We are only told Shiv'a Shavuot, after Pesach, the day after Pesach, after Leil HaSeder, we count Shiv'a Shavuot, 7 weeks, and then we do Anafat HaOmer, and we celebrate the Shavuot, and the rabbis don't even know if the Torah was given Vav de Sivan, the 6th of the Sivan, or the 7th of the Sivan. But we celebrate it exactly 7 weeks after. You probably all know the word Shavuot comes, you think of Shavua, a week, right? 7 weeks. Shavuot also comes from the word Shevuah, an oath. This is the oath, the Shavuot, the covenant that the people had with the Almighty. The covenant when they received this gift, one of the biggest, one of the most beautiful gifts that they received, that the world received. I'd like to share with you a beautiful tradition, but before that, I want to share with you a story of my grandfather, Rabbi David Cohen, my mother's father, who was a great rabbi and also a chief rabbi in the city of Nahariya in the land of Israel. When I was 5 years of age, I said to my grandfather, who sat with my father, Rabbi Tsipi Gabai, and they studied Torah, I want you to teach me how to read Torah. He said, okay. He held my hand and we walked to his garden, his beautiful garden with so many trees filled with fruits. And he took me to the fig tree and he said, look at the figs and see if you can see any fig that is ready to be cultivated, that is ripe. So I pointed on few and he collected them. We went home and he took some honey. He dipped it in honey. He gave it to me. We did the blessings and we ate it. And I said, Saba, why figs? Why not? Why didn't we pick from the apple tree, like apples and honey, or from a different kind of tree? And my grandfather answered, you see, all the trees, all the fruit trees usually are cultivated and are collected at the same time. But the fig tree, you collect the fruits bits by bits, slowly, because they do not ripe at the same time and they don't mature at the same time. So you have to cultivate them as they are ready to be cultivated. So you see, he told me, this is the same things as the Torah. Sweetness, of course, the honey, so the words of the Torah will be as sweet as honey. But the fig, the Torah, when we study the Torah, we can't study everything in one time. And sometimes we read one verse and we understand it, but when we look at it again, we'll understand it even better. So you see, and the more one tends to the fig tree, the better the tree is and gives better fruits. The same thing with the Torah. The more we study it, the more we look into it, the more we learn, and the more the Torah enlightens our heart, our eyes, open our eyes and help our hearts to cling to the words of the Torah. There was a beautiful tradition in Morocco. When the child was the age of 5, they will have a big celebration for the boy. They did it for the boys. They will collect flowers and they will make a crown, a zer parchim, above his head. His mother will make a cake, just like this one, that looked maybe like the 10 Commandments, or just a simple cake, and will write with honey or with some frosting the alphabet. And then they will carry the child with all his friends to the synagogue. And after a lot of singing, they will ask the child to take his finger and lick the letters. Katya, you can demonstrate a little.
Oh, I'll get down to
lick
that.
the letters. So, והייתה תורה שבפה מתוקה כמו טעם של דבש. So the Torah, just as this cake and these letters are sweet, the words of the Torah and the learning of the studying will be sweet like the cake. As a writer in Israel, his name is Yehoshua Subol, a Moroccan writer, wrote a beautiful song about this tradition. And I would like to share this song with you. אצלנו בכפר תודרה, in our village, in the mountains of the Atlas, in the village of Tudra, how they used to take the boy and celebrate him becoming 5 years of age with the alphabet that are written in honey.
Okay.
Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la. אצלנו בכפר תודרה שבלב הרי האטלס היו לוקחים את הילד שהגיע לגיל 5, כל הילדים ברחוב חגיגה גדולה עושים לו, כתר פרחים מלבישים לו, שהגיע לגיל 5. יאללה לילה 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 ואז התחתן השמחה שהגיע לגיל 5 אצלנו בכפר תודרה. מכניסים אל בית הכנסת וכותבים על לוח של עץ בדבש מאלף ועד תף את כל האותיות ואומרים לו חביבי לקט והייתה תורה שבפה מתוקה כמו טעם של דבש אצלנו בכפר תודרה שבלב הרי האטלס. יאללה לילה 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 So I hope you got a little flavor of this beautiful tradition. And I would like to share with you this beautiful table that is set here in honor of Shavuot. There are some beautiful traditions, as I said, in the Moroccan tradition. One of them is to have a cake with the alphabet. And if you have a child who is the age of 5, or sometimes 6, 7, 8, you let them, or someone like Katya even, at the end come and lick a little bit. So the word to remind us that the words of the Torah are sweet as honey. Another tradition is to make Khalam. And you look at the challah and you think, this is a round challah. It's not Rosh Hashanah, you're right. But the challah is supposed to look like the Mount Sinai, where we received the Torah 3,400 years ago. And with candies on top of it. Okay. The other tradition is we have milk. Since the Torah was linked also to milk and honey, and what else? Milk, honey, and butter, and many, many good things. Now, Katya, when I set the table, asked me, Rabbi Tsipi, what is the matzah doing on this table? You have matzot on Shavuot? I said, yes, indeed. I remember when my father, alav shalom, would always tell my mother, Rabbanit Zohara, or Bat Kohen, did you save a box of matzah for Shavuot? And she would say, yes, I did. And we will take a matzah with the milk right here. And before we're doing any hamotzi, he will take a little piece of the matzah, we dip it in the milk, and then I have a tray here with butter and honey, and we'll dip it in the butter, in the honey, in the milk. We'll do the bracha, and then we can start our dinner. And the reason is the matzah is like closing a circle, closing a ma'agal, to remind us, yes, we were in the land of bondage, we were slaves, and we are free now, and we receive the gift, the Torah, that we share it with the entire world. And also it is a reminder that each and every one of us is created in God's image, that each and every one of us has a spark, a light from the divine. And on this holiday, 7 weeks after Pesach, after thinking of bondage and slavery, we are reminded to rekindle that light within us, to shed light all around us, to all the people, on all human beings. We also have a tradition with having a plate of fruit, since this holiday is not only Chag HaShavuot and Chag Matan Torah, the giving of the Torah, but it's also Chag HaBikurim. When the temple existed, the people would bring their fruits to the temple. So the tradition is to have a plate of fruits and share it with everyone around. At the same time, we have on the table some sheaves of wheat that I went around the neighborhood, collected something that looked like wheat to remind us about Hanafat HaOmer. And this is some of the traditions that we have on Shavuot. The other beautiful tradition is that the day after Shavuot, you better be careful, because when you go outside, you might be showered.
Yeah.
Katya, you didn't expect that with water. I wouldn't
put a goldfish in there.
No. So, and again, why? Because water is a symbol of purification. Water is a symbol of life. Water is also compared to the Torah. And it's also fun. It gives us as a community to celebrate. So if you are sitting with your friends this holiday of Shavuot, or with members of your families. You can sprinkle them or pour a bucket of water on them. Or may I have that towel, please?
Yes, בטח.
Here. Or just, you can shower yourself with some water. Okay. And now, Chag Matan Torah, Chag of receiving the Torah, we would like to continue with another piyut, Ashorer Shira Lichvod HaTorah. This piyut was written by Rabbi Rafael Baruch Toledano from Marrakesh in Morocco. He wrote it in honor of Shavuot and of Simchat Torah. Ashorer Shira Lichvod HaTorah. I will write songs in honor of the Torah. Mipaz Yekara Zaka Uvara. The Torah is more precious than gold and silver. And of course, in his piyut, Ne'eman Shemo Bachar Be'amo, he is also mentioning Moshe Rabbeinu, the Ne'eman, the humble servant of God, who helped us across the desert and also helped us with the Torah. Ashorer Shira.
Rabbi Tsipi?
Yes.
Can I ask you what this piyut is called so I can find it and I can let everybody know where we can follow along?
Oh.
Is this one of the ones you sent me, or if it's not, then...
I did not send it to you. I'm sorry, I just remembered it this morning. And I said, Oi, how could you forget a piyut for Shavuot by this wonderful Moroccan Rabbi Rafael Baruch Toledano? I thought he would never forgive me.
Well, no problem. We're happy to just follow along.
So the chorus is Ashorer Shira Lichvod HaTorah. And even if you don't know all the words, la la la, with wonderful, just let your voices, remember, each and every one of us is expression of God's, and our tone, our sound is the reflection of our neshama. Go for it. Okay. Ashorer Shira Lichvod HaTorah, Ashorer Shira Lichvod HaTorah, Mipaz Yekara Zaka Uvara Zaka Uvara, Mipaz Yekara Zaka Uvara Zaka Uvara, Ne'eman Shemo Bahar Be'amo. Now you're supposed to repeat this. Ne'eman Shemo Bahar Be'amo, Lihyot lo lishmo, Uma ne'emana, Ashorer Shira Lichvod HaTorah, Ashorer Shira Lichvod HaTorah, Mipaz Yekara Zaka Uvara Zaka Uvara, Mipaz Yekara Zaka Uvara Zaka Uvara, Ashorer Shira Lichvod HaTorah, Ashorer Shira Lichvod HaTorah, Mipaz Yekara Zaka Uvara Zaka Uvara, Mipaz Yekara Zaka Uvara Zaka Uvara. We want to do all of the verses. My dear friends, our tradition teaches us that even during moments like this moment, when we are celebrating holidays, celebrating life, celebrating friendship, celebrating just existing in the world and living, we should always take a moment to think of those who are in need of healing, a healing of the soul, a healing of the body. And as we all know, yes, a lot of people on this planet, all over the world, I know there are close to 2 million or 3 million people that are still ill from the coronavirus and are suffering, that needs a prayer of healing. Also, there are a lot of families who have lost loved ones and their neshama needs to be healed. and a lot of people that maybe were not treated as everyone else need a healing. Their family needs a prayer of healing. And I would like to share with all of you, with all of us here, Refat Tziri El Ne'eman. Adonai, you are the real Uman, the real doctor that can help us heal. And Maya, I think you have it in your file, Refat Tziri El Ne'eman, was written by Rabbi Rafael Ederai.
Number 4, it says Piyyut number 4. It's the third one in line.
Yeah, and even though it's a healing prayer, the melody is very cheerful because we are assuming that Hashem will hear us. The gates of heaven are open. All of us as a sacred community, creating a sacred space that we can really bring a healing to the world. Refat Tziri. Refat Tziri el Ne'eman, ki ata rofe uman. Refat Tziri el Ne'eman, ki ata rofe uman. Ate roshi shureh leshi, veden toach lenafeshi. Ate roshi shureh leshi, veden toach lenafeshi. Tashar rahamim, v'shochen amromim. Tashar rahamim, v'shochen amromim. Ale avedach shir chashedach, en merachem bileadach. Ale avedach timechassedach, en merachem bileadach. Let's change the key, it's a little high. Go for it. Refat Tziri el Ne'eman, ki ata rofe uman. Refat Tziri el Ne'eman, ki ata rofe uman. Ate roshi shureh leshi, veden koach lenafeshi. Ate roshi shureh leshi, veden koach lenafeshi. Ha'eretze tefilati, vehu shalez raki. Ha'eretze tefilati, vehu shalez raki. Bimehera verakera, ve'am ve'akevira. Bimehera verakera, ve'am ve'akevira. Tziri el Ne'eman, ki ata rofe uman. Tziri el Ne'eman, ki ata rofe uman. Ate roshi shureh leshi, veden toach lenafeshi. Ate roshi shureh leshi, veden koach lenafeshi. Amen. El na refan alam. Amen, amen. May Adonai send them a healing of the body and of the soul. Can you hear it, soul?
Amen.
And now, I think we are going to hear from Ruben and Maya. Sapir, yes?
Yeah.
Questions before we are moving into the Shabbat.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Rabbi Tsipi. I have to say, this is, I think, one of my favorite of the songs that you sing. It's so beautiful. And I think maybe it would be nice going forward if there are some songs that we love, maybe we can unmute and kind of like or like clap afterwards or something like that to show our appreciation. I think that'd be completely wonderful. Also, right now we're going to be doing a little bit of just discussion, question and answer for Rabbi Tsipi and for Katya Cooper if we have things that we'd like to ask them. And that's going to be led by our wonderful Ruben. I'll just say a couple words about Ruben. Ruben is the founder and executive director. You might have to help me, Ruben, on the name of the organization. It's Mizrahi Sephardi Q Network. Yes. Woo. So it's a wonderful organization that's based out of New York, and he leads lots of wonderful programming for it. And if you're curious, you can get in touch with him about what they're doing and how you can get involved. And maybe he'll say a little bit more about what the organization does. Thanks, Ruben.
Thank you so much, Maya. Thank you so much, Rabbi Gabai. I am really, my heart is full being with everybody here tonight. Question, everybody can hear me well? I always want to make sure, thumbs up. Okay, great. It's really wonderful to be here tonight at this intersection of Shavuot and Kabbalat Shabbat. What a beautiful, what a double simcha we are in. And I would like to first begin by wishing everybody Moadim L'Simcha, which is Hagim Uzmanim L'Sason, which is how I grew up saying Happy Holidays, Chag Sameach, among Sephardim and Mizrahim. This is a greeting that we use. And essentially it means similar things to Chag Sameach, a joyous and happy holiday time for all of us. I just want to say something very quickly about how my first encounter with Rabbi Gabai. So last month, Rabbi Gabai with OneTable and with JIMENA hosted a beautiful Mimuna gathering. And I wanted to partake because my organization, which I can say just very little bit about in a second, we were going to do something physically. We were going to gather in New York, and that ended up not happening because of the situation we were in. And so I was seeking other opportunities to connect to this post-Passover celebration. And I'm so blessed and so fortunate that I was able to join this gathering because it allowed me to really witness the love and the incredible inclusive energy that Rabbi Gabai and Katya embody. For me, as a Sephardic Mizrahi Jew myself, I was very touched by the kind of space that Rabbi Gabai created. As Maya said, I am the co-founder and director of the Sephardic Mizrahi Q Network, which is an organization that seeks to create a vibrant and supportive platform for LGBTQ Jews from Sephardic and Mizrahi backgrounds. And as we are creating a more inclusive Sephardi Mizrahi community, it was really amazing to see people like Rabbi Gabai doing the same in your own way. So thank you so much for what you're doing. Thank you so much for being a visible female leader in the Jewish community and a very proud Mizrahi and Moroccan leader. So I want to thank you for that. And that experience was really wonderful for me. And so I shared at that event how touching it was for me. And that led to more conversations. And here we are now again together, back together again. So it's an honor to be back here. I just wanted to say a little bit more about my own Mizrahi background before we open the floor up to things and reactions and feelings that this experience has been eliciting in our wonderful community here. So I was born in Uzbekistan in Central Asia. I'm part of an ancient Persian-speaking Jewish community from the region called Bukharian Jews. The kippah that I'm wearing today is the traditional head covering, actually among men and women from my region, and so I kind of come from another a different part of this Mizrahi world that we talk about, and I grew up in Seattle. I actually grew up in a Greek, Turkish, Sephardic community, so another part of the Sephardic Mizrahi world. And for me, Shavuot and the days leading up to it were always very special. I remember being looking forward to reciting Shir HaShirim before Kabbalat Shabbat. Now, some Sephardic Jews recite it every Shabbat. I think Moroccans are one of them. But the community that I grew up in Seattle, it was especially devoted. It was especially for the weeks between Shavuot, Pesach and Shavuot. And then in my Bukharian tradition, we also had a tradition of learning Pirkei Avot, this collection of ethical sayings and philosophical axioms from the rabbis collected 2,000 years ago. We would study that on the Shabbats between Passover and Shavuot. And so I'm holding that as I'm in this space, and I am holding specifically the passage from Pirkei Avot that says, Im ein ani li mili ukshani le'atzmi ma ani ve'im lo achshav ematai. If I'm not for myself, who will be for me? But if I'm only for myself, then what am I? And if not now, when? And I just want to offer that as a blessing to us all. May we, in this challenging time, continue to show up for ourselves, practice self-care, and in doing that, then also have the strength to show up and care for our loved ones and for our communities, whatever those communities may be. And so now I would love to hear. I think we have Maya, maybe a couple of minutes, right? So I would love to hear from folks in this eclectic virtual community that we've created. Anything that you might want to share that's either about your own personal Shavuot or Shabbat traditions. We have Rabbi Gabai has shared a little bit. I have shared a little bit now. So either if you want to share something about your own Shavuot or Shabbat traditions, or anything from our experience thus far that has resonated with you that you want to either talk about or ask a follow-up question on. And I think, Maya, perhaps the best way to do it is folks can raise their hand, because we're blessed to have so many people on this call. And then I don't know if I will see, because I think it's only the co-host that will see the raising of the hands. But Maya, you can then call on people. So yeah, if anybody feels inspired to share, we invite you to right now by raising your hand, and then we'll call on you.
I did not grow up a Mizrahi or Sephardic Jew. I am an Ashkenazi Jew. And every time I hear Rabbi Tsipi and Katja sing and play and do services, it is a special blessing, because the music in your tradition is musical, so much more musical, and so much it goes in my head. It just turns around and around and around in my head. And it's so beautiful to listen to. And it's always beautiful to listen to Rabbi Tsipi and Katja sing and play together. I've been doing it for many years, listening to them and participating in their services. And Ruben, you've been missing out for years and years and years. You got a lot of catching up to do. Go for it.
Better late than never, right?
That's exactly.
Wow, thank you so much. I think we have Susan, who raised their hand. So Susan would feel free to unmute yourself and share what's on your mind.
I'm also from a straight Ashkenazi background where Shavuot meant cheesecake and cheese blintzes. But I really enjoyed this experience. This is the first time I have met Rabbi Tsipi or encountered her, but I really enjoyed, first of all, the idea of a music before Shabbat from a different tradition. And secondly, I really appreciated her sharing the Mizrahi tradition for Shavuot, which is quite different to the Ashkenazim. So thank you for sharing this with us.
Thank you, Susan. Anybody else who would like to either share how they're feeling about the experience we've had or about their own traditions?
I can add to what this wonderful women just said, that Tsipi, from my experience, Tsipi has really taken me home. I'm Israeli, I'm born and raised in Israel. And she was talking about the water wars. That's the very, that's a strong tradition in Israeli culture. And she asked everyone to wear white clothes. And she really bring, I think, to those sessions, although we are Zoom and really can connect with each other personally, she really bring tradition and home and a good feeling. And this way we just before Shabbat. So just want to thank Tsipi again for doing the session. I enjoyed every time we did. You mentioned the Mimuna. We did Mimuna with great Piyyutim, and Kabbalat Shabbat was wonderful. And this is also, I think, Shavuot is a beautiful holiday, and I think you brought it to us via Zoom. That's kol hakavod.
And we have a couple of more hands. Dash, would you like to share? Yes.
Sure. So I'm actually a convert, so I don't have a background tradition, which can sometimes make holidays a little bit lonely in a way, especially when people are hanging out with their family and talking about these traditions that have been passed down. So I've just really enjoyed this, being able to experience one tradition's version of Shavuot. So yeah, I just want to say thank you.
Thank you so much, Dash. And I also see Danit.
Thanks. Hi. Yeah, I just wanted to share that my mom's side of the family is Moroccan Israeli, but I grew up in the Bay Area. And so my upbringing was very Ashkenazi, and unfortunately my Moroccan grandparents passed when I was, relatively young. So, I've been involved with JIMENA for a while now, trying to always kind of reconnect with that part of my heritage. And this has just been so special to feel more connected to my roots. So I really thank you, Rabbi Tsipi. It's been really, really good.
You're very welcome. So I'll be very happy to share with you more traditions and
yes.
Separate them.
And actually, this is what I wanted to say. I think I was coming on the call when you were talking about it, but the tradition for the 5-year-old boys in Morocco is that when they get, I didn't hear when they get a chumash or something, but that was new for me completely and so interesting to learn about.
As a matter of fact, when I worked in a Jewish day school for like 29 years at Tehia Day School, one time we had visitors and they said, "Is this a Mizrahi school?" Because they heard all the songs the kids were singing, but we also did a tradition with our kindergartners. Before they received their little Torah, I would ask the parents to make a little cupcake for their child with his or her name on it. And we would sing this song, we would bless them, we would put them under a talit and do a priestly blessing. And then we will ask them to just lick the honey, the letters, and enjoy. It's a nice tradition.
It's beautiful. And I think maybe to close up our little discussion here, and then we will move to Kabbalat Shabbat. But to close it up, one thing that's very much connected to what everyone has been saying here is that opportunities like this, experiences, gatherings like this give us the opportunity to truly celebrate and embrace and appreciate the beautiful diversity of the Jewish experience, and allows us, no matter what our backgrounds are, to tap into these different traditions. And there's something very special about the fact that we can all have an entry point when there is this level of hospitality and inclusivity. And so regardless of if we come from, in this case, like a Moroccan background or not, it allows us to really feel connected to what I would call a tile in the Jewish mosaic. And we are all part of that mosaic. And we all have our stories and our tiles. Everybody here, the 41 wonderful souls here, have their experiences. And so while some folks might be learning some new things this evening, they are part of the stories that they are hearing, that we are hearing, and the traditions are really just chapters of our collective novel. And so that is something really, really beautiful that I'm feeling right now, how we are able to hold that diversity and these beautiful different traditions while also coming together as a collective community. So thank you, Rabbi, and thank you, Katya.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Okay, I think we will continue now with Kabbalat Shabbat. Is that?
Yes.
true?
Is there anyone who has a question about the traditions, or to me, or anything that you would like to ask before we transfer to the Shabbat? No? Okay.
The
Shabbat.
question, if anybody does have questions, they can
Yes.
write in the chat, and if Rabbi Tsipi doesn't see them, I can reach her through the phone and relay those questions on, and she can answer them as we go. But thank you all for coming to this. This is so wonderful to see all these faces and smiles. I think it really, it feels very communal and feels like home, I think, even for people that don't necessarily identify with Mizrahi and Sephardic tradition, but I think it's really been wonderful to hear all these stories. So thank you. I don't know if someone's muted by accident. Just really quick before we go into Kabbalat Shabbat, just also, I think I didn't really mention about OneTable, that if you're interested in hosting your own sort of Shabbat experiences to host your community, other young professionals, I'm happy to answer any questions you might have and empower you to host your own meaningful space with other people, and to create something that enables you to have a pause and have intention during the week, to carry you through the week. So yeah, and thanks again for coming, and I'm excited to move into Kabbalat Shabbat with Rabbi Tsipi and Katya Cooper.
Okay, toda rabba. How wonderful to hear your voices. Shabbat, another great gift that was given to the world. Shabbat, the day that we rest physically, mentally, the time that we can put the physical world aside and embrace our spirituality, the time we live in harmony with nature, with human being, and with our loved ones and family. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת. And we are commanded to treasure the Shabbat, these 24 hours, 25 hours, and to celebrate it with eating with our loved ones, with singing, and acknowledging the divine influence on our life. So let's start with la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 ya la la la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 ya la. Shabbat. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לתורותם בארץ העולם, וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש. יאללה לה 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 Welcome back with Veshameru Bnei Israel. And this time now we're going to do another piyut before Shalom Aleichem. And this piyut, we need your participation. The word Hallelujah, the beautiful Hebrew word that the whole world is using. Hallelujah. Ask many people, what language is Hallelujah? They will tell you Latin, English, this or that. But it's Hebrew. Hallelujah, praise Yah. It's alphabetical order. It's written in alphabetical order. We do not know the name of the author, but it was written in Iraq. Your part is Hallelujah, 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 Avde Adonai. Maya, you have the paper, right? Yes, and you gave it to everyone, the page?
Yes.
We sent them the link to the drive with all the Piyyutim, but we just want to find it so we can tell people where to look.
Okay, but your part is Hallelujah, 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 Avde Adonai. Try it.
Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah,
Good, you did a good job. Okay.
We have delay here, so maybe you can follow my hand. We can try it one more time, everyone. 1, 2, 3.
Hallelujah, 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 Avde Adonai. Excellent. Good.
Just a quick question.
Yes.
Rabbi Tsipi, someone is asking if you generally lead a congregation when we're not in quarantine.
Actually, we did. We have congregation Zohar Israel. Zohar is after the name of my mother. May she rest in peace, Zohara. There are many synagogues and yeshivot after my father, may he rest in peace, Rabbi Tsipi Gabai. So I decided that my congregation will be after my mother, Zohar Israel, and we lead Friday night services. We used to, until the coronavirus, once a month. It's close to Solano Avenue, and it's on my website. You can find it. Maya, you can email them my website, and the address is there. And if you send me your email, I can put you on my email. And as we renew our services once a month, I'll be happy to invite you. And we also lead services during the high holidays, especially Yom Kippur. Any more questions? No? Okay. Hallelujah, 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 Avde Adonai. Hallelujah, 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 Avde Adonai. Hallelujah, adirim, adirim, Mohullale Adonai. Hallelujah, Avde Adonai. Hallelujah, Baruch, Baruchin, Baruch, Mohullale Adonai. Hallelujah, 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 Gadolim, Gadol, Mohullale Adonai. Hallelujah.
hallelujah, hallelujah.
Hallelujah, Hallelujah, Oh, as you can see now you feel Shabbat.
I just unmuted everything.
Special time, Shabbat is you celebrate Shabbat. Oh, thank you so much. You celebrate Shabbat anywhere in the world. It's a time. L'chaim.
L'chaim, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. And again, I'd like to thank Katya Cooper, who without her, I don't think if we can be so inspired. And so thank you so much. Yes, thank you. And the drums are like the heartbeat. Yes. So now, my dear friend, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.
Shabbat
Shalom. And we have such a short time, so we are trying to squeeze everything. Shavuot and Shabbat. I have so many stories, but unfortunately we don't have much time to go through it. But let's go to the beautiful, beautiful Piyyut Shalom Aleichem. The Piyyut when we invite the angels, right? The angels, Malachei HaShalom, the angels of peace. Bevakasha, we need you, Malachei HaShalom. We need you to come on this planet. We need you to help us to create peace, to create love, to understand that each and every one of us is all from the Creator. Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei מלאכי רחמים, ממלך מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, בואכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון מלאכי רחמים, ממלך מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, ברכוני לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון מלאכי רחמים, ממלך מלאכי המלאכים, מלך רחמים, מלך מלכי הרחמים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שלום עליכם מלכי שלום, מלך עליון, מלכי רחמים, מלך מלכים, הקדוש ברוך. Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Betach. And now is I know that the East Coast people already did Kiddush. And if you're here in the East Coast, so please join me with Yom HaShishi. Shabbat Mekudash Yom HaShishi, ויחולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם, ויחל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישבות ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה, ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות, סברים ארנן.
חיים.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצבנו, ושבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו, זיכרון למעשה בראשית, תחילה למקרא קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים, כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
אמן.
אמן, אמן.
שבת שלום.
Amen.
נחלות, again the challah that looks like Mount Sinai. We should take, the Moroccan people make actually for Shabbat not one challah, they make between 4 and 10, depends how many people are in the household. But on the table, on the table, we always put at least 4 chalot. So, ברשות אברהם אבינו ושרה אמנו בעלי הסעודה, כאמור פותח את ידיך ומשביע לכל חי רצון, ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, המוציא לחם מן הארץ.
Amen.
After you take a bite, you toss the bread around and you sing Adonai Melech, Adonai Malach, Adonai Melech Leolam Vaed, Adonai Melech, Adonai Malach, Adonai Melech Leolam Vaed, Adonai Melech, Adonai Malach, Adonai And usually by now you eat your you eat your 7 kind of salads and your food and fish and everything else.
Yeah, I must say recap on Mimuna.
Recap on the Mimuna. But we have 10 more minutes. I'm correct, right? So, you know, after Shabbat, what comes? Motzei Shabbat comes Havdalah. We don't do Havdalah now, but I'd like to share with you a beautiful Piyyut by David Der'i, Hamavdil ben Kodesh lechol, when we invite Eliyahu Hanavi. Okay, but I think Maya would like us to do a little recap of the Mimuna.
Okay,
Yeah, something. So before Hamavdil, let's do something for the Mimuna.
Well, yeah, maybe you want to give a little tiny explanation, summarize what we had.
Yes.
That was the last.
Yeah, that was beautiful. The last day of Pesach, the Moroccan Jews, which, by the way, the Mimuna holiday, which means fortune, is being celebrated in Israel by all people. Jews, non-Jews, Ashkenazic, Sephardic, everybody celebrates the Mimuna. And you set your table with goodies, with lots of food and mofletas and cookies and candies, and you open your house, you wear special kaftans, special garments, you open your house and people go in from one house to the other and wish each other, Trabhu utsadu, may you prosper, may you be fortunate, may God bless you. And this was a holiday that everybody celebrated, and it was all about singing together, eating together, right after Pesach, and celebrating life, and celebrating each other, and celebrating differences. Please do not forget that. Mimuna. And now we can do we say El Hamimuna Umbaka Masauda El Hamimuna El Hamimuna Umbaka Masauda El Hamimuna. Okay, that's what the whole holiday was all about. And now Hamavdil. לכבוד חמדת לבבי אליהו הנביא, לכבוד חמדת לבבי אליהו הנביא, המבדיר בין קודש לכל חטאותינו, עם כל עזבנו וחסדנו, ירבה כחול
אם נציג בפועל, אז נשחק את המצלמה.
Oh yeah, there's Song of the Cage. Put some buttons. Just in case.
אם תיתנו לי כוס של יין לעבד עליי, אם תיתנו לי כוס של יין לעבד עליי, אם תיתנו לי כוס של יין לעבד עליי, אם תיתנו לי כוס של יין לעבד
איווה.
תודה רבה. Come on, let me hear some ululation. Yes. תודה רבה. Any more questions? Any more comments? Would you like another piyut to end? Shalom. Let's end with salam alay, salam alaikum. Peace on me, peace with you. It's a song, actually, believe it or not. When I was a little girl, I went to a kaitana camp in Maalot, up in the Galilee, northern of Israel. And our kaitana, our summer camp, was right next to the Arab camp, the village from Tarshiha, which, by the way, Maalot Tarshiha, it has a dual municipality, Arabs and Jews. And every day at 1 o'clock, we will get together with the children who are our age, and we would share songs and dances with our neighboring Arabs. It was a beautiful time. And I learned from them, Salam Alay. So I'll sing it with you, then you just clap your hands and stand up and dance and don't hold back. Salam Alay, Salam Alay, Lama Gabane wa Salam Alay, Waladi ya Waladi, Salam Alay, Salam Alay, Salam Alay, Lama Gabane wa Salam, Dia Waladi, Salam Alay, Yalla Rosa Walalina, Nosidu Ya Khuna, Yalla Nغني Salam Alay, Salam Alay, Lama Gabane wa Salam Alay, Ya Waladi, Ya Waladi, Salam Alay, Shalom Alay, Shalom Alay, Ve'alenu ve'al kol ha'olam, Yavo ha'shalom, Shalom Aleinu. Amen, 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 amen.
Amen. Shabbat shalom to everybody. I hope you have a wonderful Shabbat.
Shalom.
Thank you so
Shabbat
much
shalom.
for leading this. I think, Sapir, if it's okay with you, we had thought about maybe if you could do Lecha Dodi for as people are leaving and heading into their own Shabbat practices.
My favorite song, if you can do it, I will. It's also on the drive, guys. I can get in the drive and tell you which number is it, so you can follow. One
Which
second.
melody you're doing?
Lecha Dodi, I think it's it's the 4. It says Piyyut number 2, but it's 4 in line.
The melody, which melody are you singing? Or
Oh,
the-
Lecha Dodi,
Okay.
if possible.
Yeah, better,
Yeah.
of course.
Open to song requests.
Of course.
And guys, it's in the drive, you can follow it. There's everything is there.
Okay. Lecha dodi li katkala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi li katkala, כבוד אדוני, עלייך נגלה, לחדורי, נקרא לה, שבת נקבלה, לחדורי, נקרא לה, אוי לא תבושי ולא תקלמי, מה תשתוכחי ומה כמטבח יחסו, אני עמי בני ונתה, יהי עדינה, לחדורי, נקרא לה, שבת נקבלה, לחדורי, שבת נקבלה, והיו לי רשיסה שוסייך ורחבו כל מבלייך, יסיס עלייך אלוהייך, כמסוס חתן הקהלה, לחלומי נקרא שבת נקבלה, ונגילה לחלומי נקרא ונשבת נקבלה, לחדורי נקרא ונשבת נקבלה. בואי בשלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצלת תורכי מונה, המסגולה. בואי כלה, בואי כלה, עידה שבת שלום, חג שמח.
חג שמח,
תודה רבה.
שבת שלום, תודה רבה.
תודה רבה, רב ציפי and Katja.
חג שמח.
תודה רבה, מאיה, תודה רבה, ספיר, תודה רבה, ראובן, my dear friend, and תודה רבה to Katya.
תודה רבי ציפי, תודה כולם.
And Shabbat Shalom, and I hope you'll have a wonderful Shabbat. And Amen, may we have peace.
Amen. I'm going to unmute so we can give a little bit of love to Rabbi Tsipi and Katya and to say Shabbat Shalom to each other. So I hope you all don't mind. I'm going to unmute everyone as you leave and you have freedom to say Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Tודה רבה. Amen, amen, amen.
שלום. תודה רבה.
Shalom.
שבת שלום.
Thank you all for coming.
שלום, חג שמח.
Now I'm going to be licking the letters. May the Lord
No, leave some. Send it out to us. Send it out to us.
Okay.
Throw it at the computer.
I think one of my favorite parts was when you did the water war and Katya wasn't expecting it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Maya, you're mean. Oh,
Or only have the whole thing of water. Wouldn't have it. But I can do that.
I'm sorry, Katya. I didn't mean to make this happen again.
okay.
Well, she's lucky she didn't get it. I was thinking of a whole bucket, but my dog, I didn't want it to get wet.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Shabbat Shalom, Chag Sameach.
Chag Sameach.
Yeah.
Ooh, I want this.
Much.
Hi.
Tsipi,
Yes.
it's Yair